let me go to Charles McDaniel.
I'll file a motion to withdraw on that due to a conflict of interest.
Charles McDaniel, please. Thank you. What's the conflict?
I've been contacted by family members and victims and members of the victim's family concerning possible civil or criminal litigation against him.
I mean, that's going to happen.
Yeah, but this is prior to something.
Oh.
Yes.
24 CR 2477 is now called the state of Texas versus Charles Richard McDaniel. You were Mr. McDaniel.
Yes, sir.
Present with your attorney and the state's attorney. Mr. Dusler, you filed a motion here. If you can just summarize it, it's a motion to withdraw.
Yes, sir. I've been contacted by family members of the victim in the case regarding possibly filing civil or criminal complaints against him. And it creates a conflict of interest where it's impossible for me to properly represent him.
Mr. McDaniel, has Mr. Dusler had a chance to talk to you about this?
No, sir, he hasn't just talked to me about anything. So.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. Let's just make sure we know where we all stand here. You were charged with a second-degree felony with sexual assault of a child.
Yes, sir.
Alleged to have occurred on or about November 30th of last year in Jefferson County, Texas. And if convicted, you face up to 20 years in prison.
Yes, sir.
For that. Paragraph 2 goes on to allege, though, that you have previously been convicted back in 2004 in this court. Before I got it. And that was for unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon,
yes,
third-degree felon. And then paragraph 3 goes on to allege that after that 2004 conviction was final, it is alleged that you committed the felony of injury to a disabled individual, a third-degree felony, and you were convicted of that offense in 2011 in the court next door, the 252nd District Court.
Yes.
So if all of this is proven true beyond a reasonable doubt, you are looking at no less than 25 years up to life in prison.
Yes.
Do you understand? We call that habitual felon status when you have 2 or more prior felonies in a sequence that can be stacked together. Okay. So Mr. Dusler has articulated a set of good grounds because he's already been talked to by the victims before you came along. Did you hadn't talked to him at all?
Yeah. No, it's morning prior to court.
The only thing, Your Honor, he's told me is 25 to life. Yes, he's failed to.
But he talked to you today about it.
Oh, he talked to me about wanting to get off the case. That was all he talked about.
Okay.
Your Honor, we're expecting 2 other cases, probably one of them for continuous from Gross PD. They're getting all of it ready to submit.
New cases or prior convictions?
New cases.
Okay. Well, whether or not he talked to you about it, the fact is that he's got a conflict that would affect you adversely.
Yes.
So we need to get another public defender, or you, I presume, are unable to hire your own.
Yes, yes.
To make sure that you've got this indigent document. You do have an affidavit that you had filed earlier, dated 12/11. That this is what you had filled out earlier back in December.
13 from shooting somebody.
You don't usually get motivation.
It reflects that you're unable to hire a lawyer.
Oh, yeah, yes. When I was arraigned. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And here's the other thing. I want you to look at page 2. Here it is. Look at that at the top. That's your signature at the top, correct?
Yes.
All right. It's not dated. It should have been dated. I'm going to ask you dated today, verifying that that's your signature. Okay, here. Yes. Today's date is 4/14/20. Yeah, put it with those spaces.
25.
It's April 14th, 25.
25, you said 24.
4/14/25.
Yes.
Hey, last year was a good year for me, I guess. I was. And here, just initial it right next to your signature, if you don't mind. I don't know why they didn't get you to sign that the first time.
That's
The way things are, I'm afraid.
protocol, it seems.
Well, I'm not here, but I understand what you're saying. All right, the next person on the public defender is going to be assigned. And somebody will be assigned immediately to come see you. And
How long before I'll be notified of that?
you're notified right now, but when somebody comes to see you, I don't know who's going to be. Do we know, Lacey?
Yeah, I have my list back there.
She's got the list in the back.
And Your Honor, I'd just ask the court to order the defendant not to attempt to communicate with his son or daughter any longer. The defendant did communicate in a kiosk message there at the jail that he had a video of an underage victim having intercourse with his son, who was also underage, on his phone.
Yeah, not on my phone.
He
Not
says
on my son's phone.
he said that he has seen that video.
Wait, who's he?
The defendant, Your Honor.
Yeah, okay.
And essentially, he's trying to get them to talk to him and whatever else. He's basically threatening them over there to bring them to court. Your Honor,
That's his
also-
version.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
Yes.
That's what
Yeah.
what information he believes in.
Yeah.
I have no reason to suspect that he's just making this up. That's what he understands.
Yeah.
It may be different from what
Yes,
you
yes,
understand.
yes.
And there's
He's
been some-
entitled to what he understands.
Yes.
There's been some allegations of maybe some inappropriate touching with his daughter as well, different things. So
What are you asking?
he's trying to contact her as well. And he says he has money stashed. They will contact him. So it's just that he would not have any communications with those individuals.
Do a couple of things. You can't try to influence people.
I'm not.
And whether you are or not, you can't do that. Number two is they're listening. They're listening to all those phone calls and.
Oh, I know.
And,
Yeah.
and you got to be careful what you say because those phone calls are admissible in court.
Yes, sir.
Used
Yes,
against
yes,
you.
yes. I'll say
Are you?
nothing incriminating.
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the state asking for me to do?
Just to order the defendant not to have any communications with him. If he does, I'll bring it back to
Who are they?
it is
And they're possible witnesses is what you're saying, correct? For the state?
yes, Your Honor. That's correct.
They will be witnesses for the defense.
Yes, but if it's for the state, you got, your attorney will have to do the talking.
One of them is Kaylin McDaniel,
How do you spell it?
CAELEN.
You know who that is, sir?
Yes, sir, that's my
Okay,
son. Yes.
you were ordered not to have any contact with that person unless otherwise authorized by me. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And if you do nonetheless without authorization, then your phone privileges will be
That's
taken
fine.
away completely.
Yeah, that's fine.
The other one's Kiana McDaniel, KEANA.
Do you know who that is?
Yes, that's my daughter. Yes, sir.
And that person as well, you were ordered not to contact nor anyone on your behalf contact, except of course the attorneys are allowed
Right.
to contact in preparation for the trial.
Okay.
All right. If you fail to do that, then we'll be back here and then the court will sanction you and
Yeah, that's fine.
you don't want that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. We'll get another attorney appointed today. Okay. Anything else? That is all. Ms. Don, you are released from further representation. Patrick Winston,
He needs to be brought out. That should be set on trial up.
you are Patrick Andre Winston.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In 25 CR 261, you were charged here with this first degree felony of aggravated sexual assault alleged to have occurred on or about January 11th, 2025 in Jefferson County, Texas. You also are alleged in this indictment to have some prior convictions. It states you have been convicted of burglary of a habitation back in 2014 out of the 405th Judicial District Court of Galveston County, Texas. And also on that day, you were also convicted in another case of a burglary of a habitation in that same court. Thereafter, those two, that doesn't say that. It says you were also finally convicted of arson out of the 252nd District Court of Jefferson County next door in 2016. This does not say that that crime was committed after these two were convictions occurred in 2014.
It was.
Is that what you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so they're not stacked. They're going to be treated as one prior conviction for enhancement purposes. That was close. You were looking at, I thought that might have been an habitual felon, where you would be looking at a minimum 25 to life. But if you're convicted of what this is alleged in the indictment, you will be looking at no less than 15 years, nor more than life imprisonment. So it's still serious, but it's not a habitual felon status. That would be even worse. So go ahead, Mr. Deuser.
Well,
What's next?
He's advised me that he feels he's not guilty of this charge, asking to be set for trial. He'd also like it to be going to court as soon as possible, suggesting that I be relieved because of my caseload and having to attorney.
Are you able to hire somebody?
Yep. My dad, he's been asking me to try to get a bond reduction, in which case, he would try to get me out. Him and my wife are going to try to get me out and hire an attorney so I can.
Something wasn't done here. There is, right now, you're unable to afford one though, right?
Yes.
Okay. This.
Is it okay if I say something, Judge?
Yeah.
My wife is the victim on this case, and
Say that again.
my wife is the supposed victim on this case,
Okay.
and she's been trying to reach the district attorney, let them know that it's untrue. The story she said is not true, that she just wanted her car and her phone and everything back. And
How does he know that?
my dad, she's living with my dad and my grandmother, and with my kids, and she wants to recant or I forgot how my dad said it, recant or sign an affidavit, but they won't return her calls. District attorney, the name is my dad said it the other day.
He's right here.
Judge, I'm just gonna say that I don't know whether that's true or not, but it doesn't matter.
He's
Mike Lowry,
Yeah.
and she's been trying to reach you.
Well, let him. He has an opportunity to speak. And Don, is it?
She tried to, but
Is your attorney?
I'm trying to say it's not.
Yeah, but
Okay, I'm sorry.
keep talking.
She wants to say it isn't true because it's not true. All I did was took her phone, took the car, and she said that she wanted to get me in trouble because she knew that saying that would get me in trouble because it got her dad in trouble a long time ago. And I mean,
She's left that
everything-
message with my office, Judge, but we have injuries that are
Yeah, let-
consistent with her first story. So
Everything
speak.
was consensual.
Please.
I can give the whole story, and she would tell it too. Everything was consensual, and the injury that she has is not something that's unusual with the kind of the sexual act that we did. It was nothing unusual. It's not the first time that has happened before. And she would tell you, I'm pretty sure she would tell you that. So, my wife is trying to to let people know that is what happened. I've been saying it since the first day, and she's been saying it since she's been trying to tell. She doesn't know who to tell, who to call. My family's trying to get me out there, trying to help me. I have kids, I have daughters.
Well, the problem you have here is it's the way things have been done for a long, long time. When somebody complains, files a complaint, especially a serious sexual assault, police always take that seriously,
Yes, sir.
and they investigate thoroughly. And the first person they end up talking to generally is the complainant, the victim, which is what I'm looking at, the probable cause affidavit, which is what they do. And they rely on, and the person making the complaint here, the complainant, understands fully that what they're saying, they're held responsible for. And what has happened here, according to you, if you are correct, and then all these statements that she made were false to the police, which resulted in an affidavit under oath being filed and an indictment by the grand jury, then she gets in trouble with a felony offense and she's going to go to prison. Probably. That's what happens generally in these kinds of cases. But it's not unusual. I've heard this before over years and years as in practicing law. And these are serious offenses, and people attempt a lot of times after the investigation has been made, when they should have fixed the mess early, they are attempting to, especially people who are in custody, don't like being in custody. That's just natural. And they start thinking about ways of how to get out of custody. The way your plan works is it your wife?
Yes, sir.
She puts her in prison. But we're going to air all this out sooner or later, and then there will be a jury who will be here to just make a decision. And don't interrupt before speaking. What happens is you've got a plan, you've worked some plan out, and you wanted to tell me, you've told me. I'm just telling you that plan is a foolish one, but it happens. And we dealt with this before, and it works out the same way. One or the other, or sometimes both people end up doing it. And that's unfortunate, but that's what it is. And when we're trying to get to the truth is what's important. This is the next important thing that we need to do. You have not filled out this affidavit of indigence. It's got your signature, and then it has just look at it. Then it has a stamp, but nothing was filled out. I'm going to ask you to fill this out so that it's properly done. That's another story altogether that gets me frustrated, because there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. And you should have been required to. You would have done it if they'd have told you to do it correctly. And you didn't get told that. So I'm going to ask you to fill that out. That has to be filled out so that an attorney can continue to be appointed to represent you. You certainly can hire anybody at any time. But in the meantime, that has to get filled out under oath. It appears like you tried to, but the magistrate who was handling that or his staff failed miserably in doing their job. So fill that out. Here, just take a seat, and we're going to fill it out. And then when you're ready, you'll come under oath, this lady, and sign it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming out. I had so much fun. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.